But when you're winning in Illinois, you're happy to play by these rules.
Again, I've condemned all gerrymandering across the country. And in fact, when Democrats had a majority in Congress, they voted to ban gerrymandering in every state, red states and blue states. Do you know how many Republican members of Congress joined them in that effort?
Which one? I'm sorry. Which state did you just refer to?
I'm asking, do you know how many Republicans joined Democrats in the U.S. Congress to ban gerrymandering? All the Democrats voted for it. 0 Republicans voted for it. 0.
It's an odd.
So you can spare me the both sides rhetoric. It's clearly one side that is trying to rig the rules in the middle of the game. This is like 2 football teams coming out of the locker room at halftime, and the team that's ahead says they want to change the rules for the second half so they can win the game. All of us would be throwing food at the TV if that happened. We don't accept cheating in our politics. We don't accept cheating in our relationships. We shouldn't accept cheating in our elections.
You've done the same thing as us, and we are going to, by the way, if you do it, we're going to ratchet it up even more, in the words of Gavin Newsom.
My party has never gerrymandered in the middle of the decade at the request of the President of the United States, nor would we. The only way this is going to happen in blue states is if Texas executes this power grab. You mentioned Massachusetts. Do you know the party of the governor that signed that map into law? He was a Republican. It was a Republican governor that signed that map into law. So I just want to be clear with our facts, and I don't want to muddy the waters. All of us, whether we're Democrats, independents, or Republicans, we should stand up to politicians who don't want to face accountability at the ballot box. That's exactly what's happening here. And I asked you, if Republican policies are popular, why do they need to redraw these maps? Why can't they just run on their policies?
I'm getting wrapped on time. I'm enjoying this conversation. I want to let it go on, and I apologize. That's such is the nature of cable television.
What's happening? This is about gerrymandering is just a symptom. Because white America is the majority of America, white America has had a history of doing something either unethical, immoral, or illegal to quote unquote get ahead or win in a situation, and turn around and make that thing that was unethical, immoral, or illegal, make it illegal for the rest of America to do. So if you do it, it's a crime. It's wrong. It's unjust. But it's like you've been doing this for years and years and years and years, so now it's unjust. Oh, okay, that's a normal thing. With this gerrymandering thing, some people don't know that gerrymandering basically started like the 1800s, early 1800s, where it was like the Democratic Republicans, because Democratic Republic or the Democratic Republicans, I forget how to say it. That was a way for them. They actually gerrymandered a map or whatever of, I think, Massachusetts to win against the Federalists, because you got to remember, it wasn't always Democrat and Republican. They had Federalists, they had Whigs. I know I'm forgetting one or two, but that was their way to, since I can't win head to head, let me, scam my way to a victory. So that's how it started. I guess people look at, like, you can look at gerrymandering in the sense of Jim Crow. As soon as Reconstruction happened, then you had to reinstitute gerrymandering. Oh, that's how there was a lot of black people who were in Congress, and then it was too much for white America. So that was brought on Jim Crow, and the reason, and part of the early reason for the Civil Rights Movement and the Voting Rights Act itself. So people play this game like, oh, everybody does it. And it's like, they do it, we do it. And this is why I say it's a symptom of the problem, where that could be true. Like, both parties have done it, but nobody asks who did it more. When you say who did it more, it's usually Republicans. Who benefits from it more? Republicans. When people bring the gerrymandering, is we don't want to do things racially. Gerrymandering not the first issue of it, but the Jim Crow issue of it, that was racial. That was racial. And it's been racial. You get what I'm saying? The issue is it's not racial things aren't racial in America when white people do it. When white people do something to make sure white people can win in a situation, we don't call it racial when it's absolutely racial. That's when you hide, oh, it's a class issue. And then you went from class to actually race to we found out it was race. So we got to redistrict it to make it proper, to actually make it fair. And then it goes back to, we can't do this racial stuff. So let's do this racial stuff we don't call racial. That's what that is, right? So, but it's still a symptom. And in my opinion, what's really going to happen is this. if you want to change the rules mid-game because, I need some help to win because, we're supposed to do this every 10 years after the census, but hey, F that, this ain't looking good. Let's throw out the rules and do it my way so I can win. As Black America, that's normal America to us. That's what white America does all the time. That's what I think. That's what I think white people did globally all the time. Oh, this is what we're going to do. Nope, change my mind. And now you stick to the old thing while we make this new thing. But and then when you figure out it's some BS, we're going to change our mind again. It's that, right? And that's why I say it's a symptom. So the problem is actually white America's selfishness or greed or whatever you want to call it, right? Fear, lack of competition. But what's going to wind up happening is you might get your way. And the reason why you might get your way because people are looking at this like, oh yeah, y'all. So let me get this right. You voted for this. What you voted for is actually making America worse by the day, and you fought to double down and make sure you can keep this going. And what's gonna wind up happening is you think people are gonna actually, like, black people are gonna actually fight it. Like, no. I'm like, okay, go ahead, win the midterm. and when y'all crying and next year, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Like, hey, that's not on me, man. That's on you. This is what you wanted. When the debt goes, when the deficit goes from 40 trillion to 60, just like that, when they can't pay the minimum balance, when the government can't pay the minimum balance even of the interest, oh, don't worry about it. We're just gonna sit here. Hey, this is what you wanted, and then what's gonna happen? No, we want. This is not what we voted for. This is not what we did, bro. We're looking at you destroy white supremacy. That's what you're doing. White supremacy really only works when capitalism is putting money in people's pockets, in white people's pockets. Capitalism, y'all failed at capitalism, so it's over with. And you still want to get the racism part because we're gonna have something. Yeah, most people who are just really racist, they don't really do good in life. They normally either go broke or wind up in poverty. I know y'all think, no, that's not true. Okay, figure it out. The country's really in poverty. And like I said, this is a symptom of fighting for the last scrap of, all you got left is really your racism. And that racism is going to bury the rest of white supremacy. Because all you're going to get is the blame for all of this stuff. And nobody's like, think about it. Is China going, oh, I hope they don't do this? No. Is the rest of Asia going like that? No. Is Central and South America going, don't do it? No. Is the Middle East like, don't do it, brothers? No. Africa like, I don't care. Only people who you see the U.S., Canada failing, Australia failing, Europe failing, and what y'all think that y'all gonna do is double and triple down on the same old things that don't work. And what y'all are really voting for is racism and incompetence. And you can't see it because you blinded. And we good with that. We cool with that. Uh, it's just funny because, the same thing that's going to make y'all laugh is going to make y'all cry. And why I said, the gerrymandering is just a symptom, that's all it is. This is, you remember the farmers thought it was cool. The farmers thought it was cool. The people in construction thought it was cool. Everybody who wanted to make America great again started figuring out, farmers losing money, losing farms. Construction companies, we ain't got no workers. What do you call that? What do you call that? I just forgot the doggone name. Oh, the military. People ain't trying to enlist. Talking all this stuff, ain't nobody trying to enlist. Then you have these situations where you're dumping on all these other racial groups and want them to help when things go left, and it's like, hey, y'all on your own. Businesses failing left and right. Y'all don't get it, and it's all really stems back to two things. The I don't know if you call it the war on terror, but when we first went to Iraq and it went from Iraq to Afghanistan, and people was like, why y'all going to Iraq? Iraqis didn't do 9/11. That was incompetent. Then you left there and you went to Afghanistan. Then we stayed there, and then Obama became the president, and that became the issue. You're like, oh, he's black. And then we're going to show you what a white America is. Trump is going to show y'all. And it's like, all right, G. And it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And you think, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to change the rules to keep it going. It's like, okay. Cool. Get in the boxing ring and keep your hands down and act like Mike Tyson can't hurt you. I'm great. That hook is not going to do anything to me. Next thing you know, dearly beloved, we're gathered here today because he didn't put his hands up and he knew Mike Tyson had the power to kill him, but he thought he was great. I don't even think he knows he's dead. I don't know if he even felt the punch. His neck snapped like a twig on pay-per-view in front of millions and millions of people. The highlight has got 1 billion views on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And everybody just laughs like, oh, that was stupid. But he said he could win if he put his hands down. But I'm done, man, because it's just foolish. But I'm done. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.